What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I'm Wayno. How y'all feeling? Again, we running it back. We running it back. No Umar. If you like what it is that we do over here, though, hit that sub button, hit them likes, and run up that hype. Today, we are revisiting this Tory Lanez situation. I don't know. It's not many people that's having a worse year than Tory Lanez right now. You know what I'm saying? From serving this sentence, I think he's been locked up ever since 2022. But from him serving this sentence, you know, he was charged with discharging a firearm. You know, everybody has he didn't shoot Meg, he was just charged with shooting firearm. Regardless to what happened, he's in prison currently right now for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. No matter what technical term you want to put on it, no matter how you spin it, no matter how you feel about it personally, no matter if you put on your own detective hat and you started finding out things on your own and you feel like you're right, the fact of the matter is Tory Lanez is still locked up and is at this moment going to continue to be locked up because Tory Lanez's appeal was denied in the Megan Thee Stallion shooting case. And we are going to talk about that today. Now, you know, from everything from his dad calling on Roc Nation.
In the LAPD's office, tell me how there's no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Roc Nation, you will crumble. I am an apostle of God. That's right. And you will know who I am.
That's right. Say that, man. Come on, man. I feel that, bro. Real talk.
And everything, you know what I'm saying, Roc Nation to crumble and all that and everything in between. Tory Lanez, this situation has been going on for years and it's been very controversial, right? It's been very controversial. I myself have found a little bit of confusion in things, but ultimately it doesn't matter who's confused about what. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. The fact of the matter is the fact of the matter. And he was convicted for something and sentenced to 10 years in prison, which he's been in roughly almost 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Earlier this year, he almost lost his life. You know what I'm saying? He almost lost his life. He was stabbed, I believe, 12 times while in prison. You know what I mean? By somebody that just randomly decided to attack him. There was this report that after that happened, the bodyguard of Meg Thee Stallion, the bodyguard of Kelsey, said that he overheard her saying something about Meg or Meg's bodyguard, whatever the case may be. I thought that one of the more questionable things that I had saw was, you know, the evidence that had came out of, you know, the whole arrest situation where Meg said that she stepped on glass. The police said she stepped on glass when she got to the, you know, to the hospital. She had a different take on the events of what happened. She then later explains about, you know, how she feels, where she said that she didn't want to tell on Tory. And listen, we've seen academics going through it because he's been, what did they subpoena him for a deposition about the Milagro situation, regarding how they felt him and Aiden Ross. The Roc Nation empire, the evil empire Roc Nation is at work. You know what I'm saying? It's all of these different narratives that's been painted online. I know a lot of people feel strongly about how they feel, and you're not changing nobody's minds. I think like in today's world, it's not really much you can do, and who needs you to do that? Because end of the day, how much do you really care? There are people that feel like this is an injustice to Tory Lanez, but then there's people who say straight up and down like, yo, regardless to who Meg decided to sleep with, who she decided to be with, whether she took Tory from Kelsey, whatever, she was shot, right? So you're gonna have people who stand on this side or that side. That's just how the shit goes. Let's read through this report though. It says on Wednesday, November 12th, the California Court Appeal affirmed Tory Lanez's felony convictions and 10-year prison sentence for shooting Meg Thee Stallion per legal affairs journalist Megan Cuff. Hold on. Oh, my fault. I read the wrong part. All right. So it says, in May, Megan's lawyer, Alex Spiro, released a 31-page report rejecting renewed efforts by Lane's team and supporters to discredit the conviction. It says, despite Mr. Lanez being convicted at trial by overwhelming evidence that included his own admission of his guilt and his team, flanked by ignorant person they can find, have pushed whatever misleading narrative they can, Spiro said. It says, one-on-one, their misleading statements unravel and all that is left is the simple truth. He was convicted by overwhelming evidence, and those who seek to traumatize the victim of the crime should be called out as a foolish bully, right? It says the report noted that ring camera footage had been presented at trial, and that DNA evidence on the gun indicated that 90% likelihood the shooter was male. Early this month, a judge rejected Lane's attempt to avoid testifying in the related civil case. The deposition is part of Megan's defamation lawsuit against gossip blogger Milagro Grams, Milagro Cooper, whom is accused of spreading falsehoods about the shooting and the 2022 trial with Tory Lanez's financial support. So they've been saying that Tory was paying people and paying them off. Before we go to that and how I feel, let's have a word from our sponsor. Yo, this video is brought to you by Jordan Craig Denim. Jordan Craig Denim is a brand, a family-owned brand, working in streetwear business over 30 years by the way of Queens, New York. On top of that, they got everything from premium denim. They got good sweatsuits, good jackets, all types of garments and all types of accessories for any and everything you need. A lot of people have wanted. Everybody from Allen Iverson, the Moneybag Yo, Shiloh Sanders, Paul Pierce, Vin Diesel. They got something for everybody. You know it's full time. You gotta get right. Go get you one of these sweatsuits. This sweatsuit I got on in particular is extremely comfortable. I can move around in it. It's comfy. I feel like I could wear this to go outside. I could wear this to the gym. I could wear this to go get my groceries, pick up my kids from school, whatever it is I need to be doing. Good airport fit. Jordan Craig got it. So if you like this sweatsuit or any of the stuff that you've seen, make sure that you hit jordancraig.com and use my code. Like I said, you support me, you support this channel, support Jordan Craig. All right, y'all. So it says Lane's lawyer argued that at the time his testimony could harm his appeal, his criminal appeal, but the judge, Lizette M. Reed, ruled that it was unclear how this would be possible. The focus of Mr. Peterson's deposition and his relationship to defendant Cooper, not with plaintiff, writes the judge. Thus, the court does not see how testimony regarding Mr. Peterson's communication and relationship with the defendant would serve to prejudice his criminal appeal. So listen, I'm gonna keep it 1,000, man. All of that shit that y'all be talking, all that gangster shit y'all be leaning into, all of that is foolishness. If Tory Lanez had something to say, it would have been no better place for him to say it than on that stand. Like, where everything that's happened in the past couple of years regarding how people view snitching, there is no actual rule book on snitching or telling. People would still listen to his music. He still would have a career. If everybody believes that he was just holding it down, then he should have not held it down. Because what is it worth now? Now you're doing 10 years in prison. You know what I mean? He got poked up extremely viciously. They tried to end his life up in there. And even I seen people make allegations of like somebody paying, like Rock Nation paying somebody. Like, yo, I would keep it 100, man. Like the fantasy football and this type of shit is insane. Like the people that think stuff like that really happens because they just watch too much TV. How I feel regarding this whole Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion shit, I'm gonna tell you here, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Tory Lanez is an artist, extremely talented. I mean, had the world at his cusp at one time to take over in his own world. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about him being the biggest artist or nothing, selling the most. I'm just saying, like, taking over the world in your own right. He had that opportunity. We talked about Sebastian Telfair and how he had the opportunity to, maximize his potential, but he kept getting caught with guns and he kept ending up in, bad situations. And people try to blame these bad situations on other factors or other people. Fact of the matter is that regardless to how anybody looks at this from a conspiracy theory level, right? The fact of the matter is that Tory Lanez is going to spend at least the next 7 years in prison. His appeal was denied. They've done everything from starting, They started websites and petitions and all of these different things. Nothing would have been more important than him speaking for himself at that time because your appeal got denied anyway. I mean, you thought it was going to hurt your criminal appeal, but your appeal got denied anyway. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, this whole idea of this snitching shit. Straight up and down. If you was in the streets and you didn't tell because you was willing to take, the responsibility for your actions, then salute to you for whatever you want to be saluted for. That's good for you. But I think that y'all got to stop telling kids specifically, that if they get into a bond and it's something that they didn't want or they didn't want to be a part of, for them to not, cooperate. Like, I'm going to keep it 100, man. If you in the streets, though, listen, if you in the streets and this is the whole problem that people have, specifically the problem that I have. I think that if you're in the streets and you are committing criminal acts, committing criminal activity, this is what you're doing, this is what you signed up for. It ain't cool at all. So I'm not trying to make it seem like this is some glorious thing, right? By not telling or nothing. But if you get caught, be responsible for yourself. Don't take other people down. Don't, yo, bro, don't call from the jail like, yo, bro, it's crazy in here, yo. What we did was out of pocket. What we did, you in there for what you did. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel bitter about it. This is a path that you have chosen, whether you choose to realize that or not. I think that when it comes to the children, though, this whole thing about like, oh, don't get on the stand and don't do this and don't do that. Listen, if you are a civilian, I'm talking about if you're a young person, you go to school, you got a 9-to-5, you trying to do positive things in your life. Listen, if you are not partaking in the crime, then you are a witness. You know what I'm saying? You are a witness. And I think that we got to get away from telling these kids, no, you got to hold it down. You got to do this. You got to be da-da-da-da-da-da. I believe you're supposed to hold it down if you are responsible for the crime. Yeah, if you're responsible for the crime, if you know that you played a role in this said crime and your mistake got you caught, but your friend didn't, yeah, don't bring your friend into it because you knew that there was a chance that both of y'all was going to get caught. You just the person with the short end of the stick. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who is an artist. I never looked at Tory Lanez as no street nigga. I don't think he looks at himself as no street nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's an artist, but look at the position he's in. For the people that believe that he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? For the people that believe. Now, there has been a lot of contradictions on both sides. There's been a lot of contradictions on both sides. I feel like, even with Megan, you know what I'm saying? The thing about Megan is, yeah, when people look at you to lie about something, then they say, well, she probably lies about everything. But everybody lies to some sort of extent. You know what I'm saying? Everybody lies to some sort of extent. So I don't think that her, I really didn't understand why she said that she hadn't had a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez while she was on Gayle King. I didn't understand why she said no, you know what I mean? And then just said, yo, I was thrown off by her asking that question. Regardless to you being thrown off about being asked that question, the truth is the truth. So yeah, that on some level does make people look at your credibility in a certain way. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? This man is in jail for shooting her. Now I remember, you know what I mean? I remember when this happened and everybody was talking about how this was going to go. I said, damn, I can only imagine what she's going through. Now, because she's with Klay Thompson and he's been on the under every time we betting, does not mean, you know what I'm saying? Does not mean that she's lying, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something that's really been happening and shit. But I just think that, like, yo, listen, man, if that girl went through a traumatic experience with that whole night, her friend, Kelsey, all of them, it is what it is at this point, man. It really is what it is. Like, regardless if you feel like Tory Lanez ain't do it because he's your favorite artist or you feel like he got a raw deal, the court and the judicial system, while there's a lot of examples of it not being fair, a lot of times it is not about the truth. It's about what can be proven. And they was able to prove that some male or him had discharged that weapon. Now, then I see the people who say, well, they didn't want to disclose who weapon it was because it was his gun, but he ain't use it. I mean, listen, he is an immigrant. Tory Lanez is not an American. He's a Canadian. He can't have a gun. Like, I don't know no immigrant in America that I'm pretty sure it was here on a work visa, you know what I mean, was here on a work visa, that has a licensed firearm or can purchase a legal firearm. Now, I don't know how people know how to deal with firearms. I've been a gun owner myself since I was 25. I'm 42. You know what I mean? So I know a little bit about owning guns in America, and I've had licenses in more than one state, specifically the hardest state to get it in New York City, and I had a license in New Jersey as well. So, I mean, listen, I don't know how this goes. I know people are upset. I know people are going to complain and cry, and I know people are not going to believe anything other than Roc Nation are the ones that is oppressing Tory. Roc Nation are the ones that's responsible for Tory. Roc Nations are the one that got him in jail, and I beg to differ. While Meg Thee Stallion is managed by Roc Nation, is she still managed by Roc Nation? I don't know, but if she is, if she isn't. But what I will say is that the situation that he got into, specifically, when you take away the shooting, all of that, it goes back to a DMX song. Stop being greedy. You've been eating long enough, dog. Stop being greedy. You know what I mean? You had Kelsey, and then you had Meg. And through that, you know what I'm saying? If there was a situation where either one of them got jealous of one another, there was no diffusion on your side to say, nah, I'm wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm wilding. I might be doing too much, you know what I mean? I'm messing with this one, I'm messing with that one. Because guess what? As men, you got we hunters, we gotta go hunt, we gotta go get this, and we gotta get that, we gotta have. Listen, that mindset of having, some sort of sexual relation with every woman you come across, or every woman that you attracted to, is a child's mindset, because it could get you more than what you bargained for. You feel me? I'm pretty sure that even with him messing with both of them, whether he was doing it at the same time, he thought he was just being slick, or have your cake and eat it too, or he just wanted to hit, that bravado make you feel like a man. I hit two friends. What? You know what I mean? Like that ego. That's ego. That's ego in the position that he's now been put in due to the ego. If it was the other way around and he didn't get convicted, it still was a bad situation overall. So I just urge, my younger brothers out here to have a little bit more discipline with yourselves, because who knows what could have been happening for Tory right now if he just would have been sticking with his girl. If he had I don't know if he had a girl back then, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people clown people who's married or, you know what I mean, in a relationship with one person, sticking to that person. But imagine how different his life would have been had he not been moving like that. Something to think about. I think it's a different perspective or a different layer added that nobody really speaks on, right? Like, yeah, it's cool, you can hit this one, hit that one, hit this one, hit that one, but like, what is it worth? You know what I'm saying? This man is now doing 10 years of his life in prison, and then immediately when he is released, he's most likely going to be extradited back to Canada, where, I'm pretty sure, he has love in Canada, but majority of his base might have came from the States. You know what I'm saying? He built a lot here. Is it worth it? Nah, it's never worth it. Like when you got to ask yourself about these situations, this shit is never worth it, man. It's never worth it. And Meg Thee Stallion, she's off, doing whatever it is that she's doing, trying to find her happiness, and she's with Klay Thompson, and that nigga been trash ever since. This is how I do it myself. You know what I mean? For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually will. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.